just want to recap, get your final thoughts on the season, where this organization is right now heading into the offseason. Bart, let's start with you, and we'll go around the horn. How do you feel about this year overall and what the Jets have in front of them?
I mean, I think this is the bottom, right? So now it's nowhere but up from here, and they need to really do some self-scouting. You know, I know Phil Savage is involved in this process as well. Phil Savage was the guy who found me in Southern Illinois. He knows how to find hidden gems. I would say Quincy is one of those gems that they found. You know, they have to go back and find what a Jet is, whether that's offensively, defensively, and they have to address it in offseason. But also they got to go find some guys, some Willie Colognes, you know what I mean, some Douzables, some Bart Scotts. They got to find some people, you know, that other people aren't scouting to kind of close the distance and develop them. You know, you got to have some guys that's ready to be in your program for 2-3 years. Nobody hear about them. They just be good on special teams and they make the next step. You know what I mean? I remember going against James Harrison. Hell, we cut him in Baltimore. All he did was become probably maybe a Hall of Fame player, Defensive Player of the Year. And that's how you build your program, by being able to find – anybody should be able to pick in the first and second round. Like, you build your team by finding guys in the fourth round that's cheap, that's hungry, right? You find undrafted free agents that's willing to die for what they believe in, because this is the only dream they got. No parachute. They got no backup plan. It's football, and this is it. Football in life, right? You have to find guys that care about it like that, because that's going to raise the attitude and the tempo on your squad. And those guys are guys that's going to eventually graduate from being special team guys to being guys that you're going to give an opportunity on a 3-year deal, and then you're able to see them mature and growing before your eyes, and nobody know where they come from.
Every time we wrap up an episode like this, if you will, it's like, well, how can the Jets get better? You know, another losing season. At some point, you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And the Jets have been through a lot, from different coaches to GMs and dealing with the media in itself and everything that comes along with that. So I think if you're a player in that locker room, be pissed off this offseason. Be pissed off and be absolutely frustrated that, like, every time you walk off the field, you're not walking on the field with the confidence that me and Bart walked on when he was wearing a different helmet. Even when he was a Jet, he walked with that confidence, like, hey, we're coming to kick butt, eat your food out your fridge, lock it up, and burn this house down, and on to the next one. You got to get a bunch of banditos in the house who want to kick butt each and every Sunday and not worried about anything other than kicking butt. And that's an attitude, that's a culture, and that's having a responsibility and accountability to your job. So if they get those type of guys in the locker room, the Jets are fine. They got the talent, they're building on it. Depth is going to.
They need some goons.
They need some bullies.
If we go back in the beginning of the year when we were talking about this team, we wanted to first and foremost see this team compete, right? Because that was the issue the season before, and this team competed. More specifically, down the stretch, this team competed. This young quarterback got better. So it's not crazy to think that this team could be playing meaningful games in December and January next year. Now, Joe Douglas, first and foremost, what we talked about earlier in the show, is he has a hit on some free agents, right? Because this last year's class of free agents, they didn't pan out all that well. Corey Davis got down with an injury. Jared Davis got hurt with an injury.
Sure.
Your prize free agent, Carl Lawson, went down.
Vinny Curry was a big hit.
Vinny Curry was a big hit. LaMarcus Joyner was an injury. So you have to hit on at least 2 to 4 free agents in the offseason to really supplement your team. And then he's got to have another draft class like he had this past year. We talked about a lot of the foundational pieces on this team are rookies, and that's usually not a good thing, but it's a good thing going forward that a lot of your rookies got so much playing time. We talk about both of the Michael Carters playing really well. You talk about Zach Wilson taking some strides down the season. Even a second-year player like Bryce Hall taking a step and elevating and potentially becoming a Pro Bowl quarterback if he can go take the football away. You talk about guys like Quincy Williams. These are all young guys that got a lot of playing experience this year. Even, the Sherwoods and the Nazardines, they got a little bit of playing time. So it's going to only bode well for you. Elijah Vera Tucker has been a beast for this offensive line.
This is the most optimistic I've been about this franchise in a long time. All joking aside, probably since Bart and Rex came over here. I mean, that was the last time that I was optimistic, not just about the year ahead, but about the future ahead. And it feels like for the better part of the last decade plus, it's been kind of these half measures, these stopgaps, these attempts to go for it with older free agents, these kind of semi-rebuilds, never really going all in, committing to one direction. And that changed when Joe Douglas came in, and that changed this year when the team committed to a full teardown and to building it back up from the bottom. Now, 2 years ago, Joe Douglas's draft was not good. This year, Joe Douglas's draft was a home run, and if Zach Wilson pans out, it's a grand slam, right? And so you've got that foundation finally. You've got the guys who I believe in Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, in Mike LaFleur, who was so fantastic as the year went on. And as a Jets fan for more than 30 years, to see a Jets offense play the way that the NFL is playing offense now, that was, a sight to be seen. I feel like they are headed in the right direction. They're all pulling on the same end of the rope. And what they have in front of them now is an opportunity, right? It's not a guarantee, but with the draft capital, 9 picks in the first 5 rounds, 4 in the top 40, 2 in the top 10, with $60.9 million under the cap right now, and that number will probably grow.
Up, yeah.
You have an opportunity to make a major leap next year, and then probably in 2 years be a legitimate contender. And that's where I think the Jets could be. It's a wait and see. We're going to see what Joe Douglas does. If he has a draft like last year, they'll be close. If he has a draft like 2 years ago, who knows? But I'm very, very excited for this offseason and for what the future, the near future finally, is going to bring.